Okay, so if you tuned in to our last article, Cory wrapped that one mentioning how the first bit of the article doesn't match at all with the end. And he thought what we should do with the very next article is read the beginning paragraphs and then the last two paragraphs and see if they even agree before we dig into the article. All right, so we got a couple in their 80s wants to do Roth conversion, should they? Glenn and Harriet Hager have done a lot of estate planning, but they want to get their finances set in case one of them becomes incapacitated.
Now, we are at Wall Street Journal now, which hopefully is a little bit of a higher standard of journalist integrity, so maybe it won't work on this one. Or I mean, hopefully it'll pass. Well, here's the thing I notice is it is kind of a start to finish. Like you kind of have to read the whole article to go on the journey, and it's not a kind of fabricated, like, here's the teaser, and then here's the end. So I think this one passes the Shep test.
Yep.
The Shep sniff.
So what they're to orient our audience is, in the article, there's this 80-year-old couple. They have $2.6 million in traditional accounts, like traditional IRA, probably 401k while they were working, rolled into an IRA. They've done a lot of estate planning already. The home is worth $2 million paid off and a living trust for their 2 sons and their family. I just want to say that is not a lot of estate planning. These people don't need a lot of estate planning. They needed a basic will and trust because they are so far below any of the estate tax consequences of the IRS. They're fine.
I mean, a trust to avoid probate for their family, like they're kind of, it's not estate planning how we normally think of it. It's like making it easier for the sons. Bit if they die.
Yeah, like, and I'll give them credit. That's estate planning. It's just not a lot of estate planning.
Yeah.
They've funded 529 for their kids, and they have $300,000 in a trust account for emergencies. So that's when they say trust account. What this journalist means is a living trust. This is not like a trust fund. It's just titled in the name of their family living trust. So he worries, and this is a great worry to have, is that he's been the hands-on manager and she's in her 80s. Now, if you get to your 80s and you don't think you would put your spouse in the position to be able to convert IRA to Roth and understand tax brackets, you've not done a good job as the financial leader of your household. That's the hard truth. Like, it is just like if my wife dies tomorrow, I can't handle all the kids' schooling, right? But I know enough about how to garner the resources to make sure they could keep getting educated if she gets hit by a bus, right? Like that, I am not so uninvolved in my children's lives that it would be like, oh, I don't even know what kids, what do you eat in the morning? That would be bananas. But people do that with their money all the time. And your money is just as certain a part of your future as your children. And so the thing that nobody's going to say in this article is, what were you doing the last 50 years of your marriage that you were, in this case, it's the wife. The wife was just, yep, you handle it all. And that's great. I won't worry about it. Would be like, I mean, my wife handles the monthly bills, but I know enough about them to figure that out. And she doesn't know all of the financial machinations. She knows exactly how to figure it out. And if I'm gone tomorrow, there is a system. Cory is involved to help her figure that out, right? And this guy has no system, and nobody's saying anything about that. The question is, how much can I get done before I die? Because I'm going to leave her just as incapable as she is now, 2 years from now when I die, but I'll have converted some to Roth. Sorry, guys.
They are talking about turning over their taxes to a professional right here. Like, so he is looking for help. So it's, it's later, but he is thinking about it. He is thinking about it now.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
They could have maybe done it a long time ago, but now they're doing it. So
Paul, somewhat to your point, though, what can happen is, especially with older people, right, is now they're more susceptible to getting pulled into something that's not right.
Yes.
And into investments that are very risky because they just don't know. They haven't gone through that education. They weren't brought along on the journey. And now this woman, right, she could be left in a place with millions of dollars, and someone's going to come along, some financial advisor maybe, right, and put them into a product that is just not the right thing.
Exactly right. Or find one on their own and put their money into it. Like, how many things do you see on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook that are like, you could put your money in here? And they make it really, as we have seen, we had one client who was not meeting with their advisor as often as they should, And they were almost a crypto billionaire. It was so close. All that had to happen was the decimal point had to move over about 8 spots and they had it, but it never moved. Right. And also when they were told it had gone up and they went to get their money out, all the contact information disappeared and away it went because they weren't financially aware enough, didn't plug in to the advisor they had with us to tap into that financial knowledge, know what to be aware of, and off they go. And you are leaving your spouse susceptible to that.
This episode is brought to you by Sound Financial Group. At Sound Financial, we specialize in helping clients build strong, long-term financial strategies for their retirement. If you're looking for personalized advice to help manage your wealth, visit us at sfgway.com to learn more about how we can help you achieve your goals.
And by the way, just as well, if you're 50 right now and you handle everything and your spouse doesn't sit in on the financial meetings, yes, I'm talking to you, Mr. Client, that meets with me by himself. By the way, there's not just one of you. And why we encourage you to bring your spouse in is so you don't have to have an article written about you someday. So they're planning on selling the house. That doesn't matter. A multi-million-dollar Roth conversion is a multi-year undertaking. And so basically what they did was the simple math of you've got a lot more room left in your 24% tax bracket. Now, going back to our ChatGPT advice from the last article, it did say they should have diversified, right? Had some Roth, had some IRA, some non-qualified, but they got seduced by the siren song of the 401k deduction or the automation of it or whatever it was. They didn't have help. So there was nobody saying in 2013, when Roth became enormously prevalent in 401ks, nobody said you should contribute to Roth on your side of the equation. Because I promise you what no retiree is thinking about when they're paying all the taxes on their IRA distribution, they're not saying to themselves they feel really good about it because all the tax deductions they got. Back when they were working, they had all the money to pay the taxes.
Right. And this is that part of the tax code that we remind everyone that if you have primarily funded your pre-tax accounts, you're overwhelmingly likely to end up with that money at a higher tax bracket coming out than when it went in. Because of what this article is talking about, almost every couple, if they're lucky, goes from married filing jointly to married filing singly. Unlucky would be both go in the same plane crash. So lucky is they live a long life, one lives longer than the other, and that other is going to be in a individual tax bracket that hits higher numbers faster. And then they're going to have RMDs on all of the money of both of their IRAs because they inherited it. So this is a really great question for them to be asking in advance of that happening. I like that forethought.
And one thing that I would that I think is a move for them to make with their IRA is take the qualified charitable distribution.
Yeah.
Or whatever charitable giving, even if they just give like $10,000 a year, then they could gift $100,000 to a donor advised fund to get some of that money out of IRA, and then it just dribbles out for the next 10 years.
Right.
And at least be able to get some of that money out of the IRA from compounding and transition it to money you were going to give away anyway.
And give the $10,000 from your cash that you were going to give to the charity to your kids instead. And then they still get some money earlier, but the taxes go way down for everybody. Yeah.
Absolutely. And if what you really want to do is leave legacy, take IRA distributions now, gift it to your kids, and let them fund Roths. That's how this family creates some real multi-generational wealth, because what does the financial planning community look at inside the box? You got this IRA, and you want to convert it to Roth. And what I don't see them saying is why, other than he'd like more of it to be Roth for his wife. But if he has enough money that's paying their bills and everything else, then he could begin to give enough to his children that they're able to fund their Roths fully. Leaving it, because he's going to leave it in Roth, and how long do they have to take it out? 10 years, with some amount coming out every year. So if he really wants to create wealth for the next generation so they don't pay taxes on it, well, then don't pay taxes on it, make it a gift. They fund their Roths. They can fund Roths for their kids. And now, 30 years from now, there's real wealth for the family that doesn't have to pass through the estate tax filter for a long, long time more. So Well, I'm glad we got a chance to discuss these. We hope that you guys got a chance to enjoy this little bit different content of us getting a chance to get together. Let us know if you liked it or what you'd like to see change. For those of you that are like, I'd like to see Lance on camera more because of his two-tone beard. I really like it. So,
but I'll get an SFG shirt next time. I got it.
We'll get them all. We'll get them all doped in next time. So glad you guys could join us. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Glad you could be here with more than commas. So get out there and have a great life.